Mama. If you're thinking about becoming a single mom by choice, one of the key things that you're probably wrestling with is how the F do I pick a donor? I've got you. One of the largest and most diverse donor databases in the world. Fairfax Cryobank understands moms and women like us that need support and need a different kind of support than maybe other people on fertility journeys. So my friends, I love them, over at Fairfax Cryobank are offering you 90 days of free access. That's $149 value for free when you use the code SingleMomMindset25. I'll link it below so it's easy to just copy paste. And you can do that right now and you can go browse all their incredible donors. Like today, you can go check it out. After the video though, watch the video and then you can go check it out. Thanks to our sponsors. Hi and welcome back to Keep Him. I am super excited. This is a podcast episode that's kind of, I don't know, it might be a little bit of a heavy one for me. I'm kind of working through what I want to share today, what I don't. Most of you know that I have a lot of things that I'm working on in the background. So I'm like, what do I share? What do I keep for other projects? We'll kind of just see how it goes. You know me, if you've been here for a while, you know that I just kind of let things out as they come. The topic today is how we are breaking generational curses and or traumas and or patterns as single moms by choice. Now, okay, you already know my story. Okay, we're not gonna get into it again, but not all of you know my background and my history and my family stuff. My parents split up when I was about 11 or 12. I don't know why. I don't ever remember what age it was exactly. My dad remarried, he had other kids and like kind of created like another family. And oftentimes my brother and I didn't feel, like my oldest brother and I didn't feel super included. And something that I find is super important about choice motherhood is when you're doing life on your own, there's no situation in which the other adult or other parent is going to walk away because there's nobody to walk away. And now some might argue, oh, but that's, you know, a trauma response and that's not good either and that's not healthy and yada yada. But the thing is that my kids, because of the choices that I've made, there's no worry of, you know, who is our family, like who's going to be here tomorrow. And they have that consistency. They have that, you know, the ability to rely on their family and nothing's going to change. And some people worry as single moms, like, you know, what if I meet someone? What am I going to do then? And whatever. And for me, I'm honestly not really thinking about that just because I'm not in a place where I'm ready to start dating seriously, like for like a long-term commitment, or like I'm open to meeting people. I'm always open to meeting people, you know, new friends, new connections. But in terms of like finding my person, like that's really not something that is important to me at this point in my life. I cannot even imagine including a man in our day-to-day life. Like I can't, truthfully. So that's not something I'm worried about. But what I notice is with my parents and with several other parents, a lot of people, you know, maybe my age who grew up and their parents divorced or separated or whatever, oftentimes the parents remarry or are dating and are prioritizing other relationships and are, you know, excited about their child-free time, like, oh, you know, the weekend that they're with their dad, like this is my me time, this is, you know, my time off and whatever. And that language can be incredibly damaging for the child. Now, again, my choice completely omits anything like that. There's no time off, and that can be hard. Of course, like sometimes I have to tap in my mom, like, okay, I need like a couple hours by myself, you know, and I teach that to my kids too. Like that is perfectly healthy. We're humans. We're allowed to need time to recharge on our own. And it's not because we're mad at the people around us. It's not because, you know, anybody did anything wrong. It's sometimes we need to recharge. And I'm somebody who I really need to recharge on my own. Ironically, with my situation, go figure. It's not always easy, but yeah, it's something that's important to me. And I teach that to my kids, and it's in such a healthy way, right? Setting those boundaries and saying I need time by myself. Like my daughter knows, like, Mom, Leo is driving me crazy. He's 4, like he just turned 4. She's 10 and a half. Like, he would drive any 10-and-a-half-year-old crazy. He drives me crazy sometimes. We love him, but oh my God, okay? He's 4, and he's a boy, and he's full of beans, and he's, you know, he goes from 0 to 900, and the rest of us are like, slow down, okay? So I've taught her, by leading by example, for one, like, I just need a minute, okay? So instead of, I need a weekend away, like, this is my time off, like, I need to be away from you guys, it's more so, I'm gonna go take 10 minutes in my room, I'm gonna go do a meditation, I'm gonna go do some breath work, and this is all very normal in our home, which is so far from the way I grew up. Like, my kids know I'm gonna go do some breathing work, I'm gonna go do a meditation, I'm gonna go do some stretches and like somatic shaking and things like that, and I teach that to them. If you're overwhelmed and you're pissed off and you're like, leave me alone, that's okay, like, you're allowed to feel that, but we're also not allowed to be unkind, you know? So we're definitely breaking some patterns there, big time. And I should have prefaced this in the beginning by saying that there's no like judgment towards my parents or other people's parents or family members or whatever. My parents did the absolute best they could with what they had at the time. And, you know, I'm doing the best I can with what I have at this time, and I'm growing and trying to do better every single day. But yeah, so this is just my lived experience, no shade whatsoever. Okay. Now, another thing in being a solo mom that I'm teaching my kids is that you're able to be dependent on yourself. So many generations before us, the woman had to depend on a man. We already know the specifics. We already know women weren't allowed credit cards, weren't allowed to buy anything, you know, whatever. They were financially dependent on a man because they had to be, okay? And now we don't have to be. And you still have the narratives floating around about how, you know, single moms are always broke. They're, you know, abusing the systems. They're, you know, all these things. When in reality, that's not the reality for so many women, especially women that are choosing solo motherhood, okay? You're doing it from a place of intention. It's not a place of like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Now, I will also add that when I first had my daughter, my ex and I split up. My daughter was 1. I had a corporate job. I was really lucky. It didn't pay hugely, okay? But I was okay to kind of get by. And I was very lucky in that way. But I was not where I am now, okay? That took a lot of mindset stuff. It took a lot of not accepting scraps any longer and all those things. Yeah, the person that I am now as a single mom to now 2 kids, the second of which I had using a donor with intention and with a plan and all the things, is entirely different than the situation I may have been in had I been in an unhealthy relationship for all those years and have no assets and have no nothing, and I'm floundering and unable to support my kids. Now, again, this is not a judgment. There are so many women in our community that reach out to me that are in not so great situations, and I will always have an enormous space in my heart for single mothers who did not choose to be single mothers and did it because they had to save their kids, save their own lives, get out of really awful situations. They're doing the best that they can for themselves and their babies. You will always have, like, there's a big piece of my heart that's literally carved out for you. So this is no shade whatsoever. This is, I want to uplift all the moms. I want every single mom on the planet to feel supported and carried, and we deserve to thrive for our kids, and our kids deserve to see single mothers that are happy, that are making more than enough money, you're living in overflow, that you're able to, you know, go on little impromptu vacations, you're able to do whatever, you know, more than enough food on the table, all the things, okay? And that is part of what I'm doing with this movement and empowering all kinds of women, because the more we share our stories and the more we uplift one another, the more we uplift one another, right? And it's very important to me. Assume that kids of single mothers are living in lack, and my kids are far from that. And again, I want as many moms as possible that could be living in that situation. So I know when my parents split up, it was really hard. They had to divide up assets. They had all kinds of things that they had to work through, and both of them are basically starting over again in their 30s. And that is hard. Like, my dad met my stepmom. She had a baby at the time from like a previous, her previous relationship. And so she was starting out on her own again, starting over kind of. And, you know, my mom had my brother and my brother has cerebral palsy. He's 4.5 years younger than me. And, you know, my mom is starting out, single mom, She was working in corporate, not making a ton of money. So it was a lot of floundering. It was a lot of what ifs. It was a lot of, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And it was a lot of language around us as kids that we really didn't need to hear, okay? Another thing that was completely wiped from my kids' circumstances, that there's no conversations like that. And even times that have come up that have been like when I lost my corporate job after my mat leave with Leo, that was terrifying, okay? And thank God my period just ended, because if not, I'd be sobbing with you talking about it. Yeah, it was really scary. I was working there for over 8 years, okay? And it was like solid. I had, my monthly check came in, or my deposit came in. I knew how much I was making. There was no question. And then it was like, whoop, that's gone. And now I'm a single mom of 2. And it was like, what the am I gonna do? Like, what am I doing? And it was a very scary time. And it did some of you already know, like it just completely just broke down so many walls within me. And I had to do a lot of, mindset work and these things that I talk about, and some things that I teach as well, to realize that like this happened for a reason. And I then started sharing my story, and I then started reaching out to brands, and it just kind of snowballed into my business evolving into what it is today, which is insanity. And I still have to like pinch me sometimes, like pinch me moments. With that, my kids didn't know anything. Yes, Leo was 1, like what does he really know? But I did my best to work through my stuff on my own. Like my struggles at the time, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, where do I wanna work? Like I took some time, because I had a little bit of savings, to be like, okay, what do I want to do now? Do I want to go back into corporate in a job like that? Do I want to go back, similar situation? I didn't love the job. I chose to share the positive parts of that with my kids. Like, okay, well, it's a new beginning for mommy. Like, what should I do? What should mommy do? And that is what they got to see. And now they've got to see what I did with that. I flipped it completely on its head, running my own business, doing all these things. My daughter, especially, my son's 4 again, so like he doesn't have like the same grasp on reality in the way that my daughter does, but she, like, there is nothing she can't do. And again, we're breaking generational trauma and curses there, because growing up, I absolutely wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to be a Spice Girl. I wanted to be Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's triplet sister. Like I wanted to be in Hollywood. Like that was like in my soul, okay? And you're gonna laugh. If you've known me for a long time, it's like, oh my God, she was so shy. Like, what do you mean she wanted to be a fucking like actress? What do you mean? Like in drama class, like she would shrink. Like she was so withdrawn. Like, what do you mean she wanted to be these things? Like what? But that is all because of my upbringing. Because when I was little, I would put on shows endlessly and sing, and when I would, my parents would laugh. And instead of being encouraged, like again, I am not Mariah Carey, okay? But I had passion. Your girl was in it, okay? I was like transported to this other world where I was like on stage in front of like thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I could like really immerse myself in that feeling, and it would light me up. Like it just sparked such joy and bliss in me. And it happened I have a few memories of them like looking at each other and laughing. It just slowly chipped away at my desire to just be. And I started becoming really self-conscious, and I started doubting myself, and I started with the, who am I? Like, I'm not good. Like, everyone laughs at me. Like, I could never. And like, I was kind of chubby. So it was like, my teeth were a little jacked up, and it was like, girl, never gonna happen. Just stop, And I asked to go into acting classes, and my parents were like, it's not for you. Like, maybe do something else. So there was a lot of just talk about, whether like directly and indirectly, about how like the spotlight's not for you. So like, simmer down now, and that crushed my spirit. I didn't want parents, like, when you watch American Idol, I would never have wanted to be the person who's there. And, my parents like, she's so good. Oh my God. Like, she is like Christina. Like, you need to hear her hit those high notes. She can sing. And then I go and I'm like nails on a chalkboard. Like, that is mortifying. Like, I would not want my parents to support me to a fault. Like, I do believe that that's a thing. Like, we don't need to be outwardly delulu, but some support, some, redirection, some like, let's get some singing lessons, lots of singing lessons. Let's get some dance lessons, something, you know what I mean? But it took a lot of time. It took a lot of my own inner healing. It took a lot of, reflecting and forgiveness. It helps now while I am kind of reparenting myself while parenting my kids, because I get to look at those experiences and remember, I want my kids to be kind, okay, and be humble and be, good humans, and not think that they're holier than thou, because that's gross. But it's like, I want to walk that line, that fine line between like humble, but like also I'm kind of the shit. Like, I want my kids to have that, because I never had that. Like, there was always doubt and doubt and doubt and doubt and fear, and like, you could never, and yada, yada. But what I notice, again, when we're breaking these generational traumas and, cycles, my daughter especially is like, she can do, be, say, anything. Like, she is confident AF. And again, still humble, still respectful, still a good kid. Like, we'll be watching something, I can't even think of a for instance for you, but like, oh, I could totally do that. Oh, I could totally do that. It's just like, I want to sing. Like, let's get lessons. She's had lessons. I want to sing. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, so I do the things to help her be the best version of that person she wants to be. And that's my job. My job is not to, put her fire out. My job is not to, totally get delulu. Like, okay, yeah, you're Ariana Grande tomorrow. Like, if we put some work into it, maybe, sure. Like, you have to get lessons and you have to work on your craft and whatever. Yes, I'm very real about things, but I'm also incredibly supportive. And my kids know that they can do anything. Do, be, achieve, whatever, all the things. But yes, I am doing a lot of conscious parenting. I can sometimes be a little bit passive, and that's something that I'm working on too. So much of it is like, when I'm parenting them, I'm reparenting myself so much too, and learning as I go, and screwing up and learning from it and apologizing. And that's another thing that I love about our generation of parents, learning to apologize. Not like, so many of us grew up that the children owed the elders respect and not the other way around. And that's where we get kind of muddy for me. Yes, you should be respecting your elders. I do still stand by that. But there's this thing that kind of bothers me where it's like, you're owed respect because you're 20 years older, but my child's not owed any respect because they're 10. And that doesn't work for me. Like, I don't agree. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. In my home, my children are spoken to with respect, and they're spoken to like they're human beings, no matter their age. And I expect that returned to me and to everybody else. Grew up in families where it was like, not a lot of practice what you preach. It was just a lot of preaching and parents kind of dropping the ball and not necessarily living by their own rules. And that can like confuse a kid. Like, why can you act like that and I can't? And this is wrong for you, but it's right for me. Again, so many ways we're changing that. And when it starts from, your parenting journey starts from making a choice as big as being a single mom by choice, searching this out or seeking this out with such intention and getting super clear and doing a lot of mindset work and getting yourself in such a good headspace and confident headspace and unshakable headspace, you undoubtedly raise really happy, supported, loved kids, because that's what you are as a person. You are embodying a healthy, happy, loving human who is only going to do that for their kids and teach them how to be that same way. And that's super duper duper important. This is not just about personal healing. This is truly a cultural revolution. Women everywhere are choosing to do motherhood differently, whether that's independently or not. Choosing sovereignty. They are, choosing to break their silence. They are choosing to say no. They're choosing to say yes to things that they really want. And I'm so for it. And in doing so, we are showing other women and the future generations what it is like to do things differently. And I'm so proud of us. I'm so excited about it. And every time, like, my kids just say stuff and I'm like, yes, like I did something right. And there's sometimes they say stuff and I'm like, oh my God, I dropped the freaking ball. And I'll be honest with you, that does happen more often than I would like to admit. But truly, there are so many times where I'm like, damn, I'm doing something right. Like, these are some good kids. Like, they see life so differently than I did. But yeah, they're growing up knowing that they're whole on their own. They're growing up knowing that they can break barriers. They're growing up knowing all these things. So on that, I welcome you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you're ready to work one-on-one together, ready to jump into a program so you can feel fully supported, everything is going to be linked below. If you're not already following me on Instagram or TikTok, what are you doing? It's at Candace Catherine. Again, the links will be all below, so you can just click and it's an easy peasy. I'm really curious to know what your thoughts are on today's episode. What do you think about generational trauma, the way single moms are changing this? If you're on a journey as a single mom by choice or considering this, how do you think you're going to approach parenting different than maybe your parents did? Or is there a trend that you're noticing in the way that parents have changed parenting for this generation? And yeah, I'm just interested to hear any of your insight or your input. I hope you have an incredible week. Come back next week. Bye.